He's always been a friend of the show. Brought his apple in, got his water. You're looking good, man.
Yep, clean.
Yep. If you would like to interact directly with Metta World Peace, download the free Metta/the official app from iTunes. Check out his latest gear from the Panda's Friend. Previews latest music. It's MettaWorldPeace.com. And Panda's Friend?
Yeah, the Panda's Friend.
.com.
Oh, yeah.
What name do you like better?
Well, I like Metta's cool. I like Metta. You know, I always wanted a little Metta in my life. You know, Metta is an actual Buddhist term, you know, and growing up, we could have used a little bit Metta in my neighborhood, you know.
But when you decided to change your name from Ron to Metta World
right.
Peace, how did that go over?
It was a little bit weird because when I was doing it, I had about maybe 10 different names, especially the last name, because I was at a point where I wanted people to know who I was, but I didn't want to change, you know. You get into trouble, athletes get into trouble, then you see them on TV the next day in a suit and tie and apologizing, you know. I just didn't want that for me. You know, I wanted to, kind of take responsibility for anything that I've done in the past without changing. So I was going through a weird time.
Did you go through therapy?
Absolutely. That's a lot of therapy.
But, you have to admit you have a problem before you go to therapy. A lot of people go to therapy and then they don't admit they have a problem. But you how do you convince yourself, or how do you get to that point where you say, okay, I'm going to get better by doing this? Well,
you figure out where you're at in your life. For me, I had to figure out where I was at in my life and then where I should be in my life. And then as a basketball player, I should have been further ahead in my career. But one of the reasons was because of the instability, not being able to listen to coaches, not being able to get along with teammates, feeling entitled, and all these are signs of, I would say, a sports illness. It could be detrimental to a team, and I really wanted to become more powerful as far as where I was at mentally on the court.
How long did it take you to get that realization?
It took a while because, when you're an athlete, you're 19 years old and everybody's telling you how great you are. You're great. And people need you on the teams and teams want you. Now you feel like you're somebody you're not, And that entitlement starts to kick in. And it's hard to control. It's hard to deal with. And it's hard for teams to deal with, hard for coaches to deal with, teammates to deal with. And not many players can make that turnaround where they say, okay, I'm a little bit selfish, and I realized that I was a little bit selfish.
But you're 19 and you're getting money.
Right.
You're not prepared for that. And nobody teaching you that at home or.
Right. I think so many professional athletes that's being kind of breaded now. I think they should have different programs in schools for young, potentially big-time celebrities and athletes, because you get this fame and fortune so fast and you're not prepared for it. They teach you a lot of other things, but there's certain things we don't learn in the household because most of the households is broken up anyway.
Yeah.
So then you get guys that's coming into this professional field, it's not ready.
Well, what was it like at home growing up?
At home, it was great. It was bad. It was sad. It was everything, every sort of emotion, at home. My parents are great. They was with each other until the age of about 13. So I grew up in a household with a mom and a dad. So that was fun.
So they were together till you were 13?
Till I was 13.
Yeah.
You wake up in the morning, you open your mom and dad's door. All that stuff I experienced all that stuff. And then I experienced the flip side, the dysfunction of the balance and the separation, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't as bad as other people's households, but it wasn't something that I wanted, for me.
How do you avoid when you're growing up in a tough environment, tough neighborhood?
Yeah.
Because there's one way to go, there's another way to go.
Yeah. There's a lot of different ways you could go, and I spoke about this, I think, on Highly Questionable, and I was kind of talking about things I've experienced as a teen.
What did you see?
Many different things. I've seen, drug transactions, shots, people shooting at each other, friends shooting at each other, people that I grew up with at elementary school turn to the streets. You see that all the time. You know, some of your friends, great basketball players that should have been in the NBA, but turned to the streets. You know, later no longer here. You know,
but you know,
so many different things.
And there's people, when you get out of that, there's people that you hear from that want something from you, like you got out, but don't forget about us.
Right, that happens all the time.
Yes.
Because when you grow up with people for, 17 years, and you're friends for 17 years from the day you were born for the most part, they might feel some entitlement also. And it's very important that you don't give them that entitlement. You got to move on with your career, with your life, the same way with other people. Nobody's given anything, so how I had to work hard for my stuff, my friend might have to work hard for what he or she wants.
He's Metta World Peace, the Lakers forward, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. But when you would hear somebody say, "Oh, Ron, he's crazy," because you did hear that
a lot.
Was it accurate? Did it hurt you?
It was accurate if you just put one word on it, just describe things that you've seen Ron Artest do at the time, and if you want to generalize it.
Yeah.
But if you want to break it down, it was so many things. It was depression, anxiety, it was jealousy, it was drinking, a little bit too much alcohol, it was not having your priorities straight.
How bad was the
drinking? It was
drinking?
so many different things.
How bad was the drinking?
The drinking wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. It didn't help me with what I was going through at the time, because if you drink and you try to suppress, your feelings or emotions, right, that never helps. You're supposed to drink when you have a good time, you have a glass of wine, feeling good, not when you're feeling bad, so it didn't help. But it wasn't like I was an alcoholic, but those type of things didn't help.
Did you drink before games?
The night before we would go out, I never really drunk before games. I had one moment. People know I had a moment. I was 19 years old in Chicago. I drunk, I think it was during or maybe halftime of the game. A little bit overwhelmed by where I was at in my life at that time.
So the anxiety you need to suppress, and you had something to drink at halftime?
Yeah. I was a little bit overwhelmed.
Why? What was it that?
There was so many things going on. I had my first child. My first child was conceived at 16 years old. She came when I was 17. So that was overwhelming. I was in high school at the time, and I was a young parent. I was a kid raising a kid. So it was no excuse, but that's where I was at in my life. Wasn't ready for that moment. And then had my second child at 19. And then going to college and getting in a lot of other trouble, with females in college. So I started off the wrong way. I brought all that stress with me into Chicago, Then I had another baby when I was in Chicago. So I had 3 with my ex-wife, and then I had 1 with another lady. I got 4 children, So it was so many things going on right at the start. It wasn't a smooth beginning. It wasn't smooth.
We'll continue with Metta World Peace. I want to ask you about the Lakers, what you're going to do next year.
Yeah.
What Phil Jackson's doing with the Knicks. He just hired Jeff Hornacek.
They did.
Yeah.
That's great.
It is?
So Phil hired Jeff?
Yeah.
Great. 2 smart minds. Amazing.
All right, we'll continue with Metta World Peace. And by the way, tomorrow Reggie Miller will join us in your boy Reg.
You're lucky to have him.
Reg is great.
You're lucky to have him.
Reg is a whole lot of fun. Yeah, you were lucky to have Reg, I think, there
so
too.
Good. He's so good on TV, huh?
Yeah, he's a lot of fun.
He's very good.
He was a lot of fun. And
Byron
Scott's stopping.
Wow.
Yeah, Eric's coach stopping by.
Yeah, I love Byron. Gave me a great opportunity.
Yeah?
Yes, he did.
Who else is
actor Matt Walsh from Veep and the Adam Sandler movie The Do-Over.
All right. So we'll continue with
No Instagram models?
You dismissed this. Did you see this Sports
Bob?
No, before. Samantha Hoops from Sports Illustrated.
Oh, that's good. I missed that one.
Yeah, you did.
That sucks.
Yeah, sorry about that. You know what? During the commercial break, we'll show you some of the pictures of her. Yeah, the timing's everything, madam. We'll continue with Metta World Peace after this.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.